Each deny him. Each deny him. The disciples handed him over to the Jewish authorities. They handed him over to the pagans. They handed him over to death. Jesus exchanged through the hands of all, yet held faithfully by none. Each part of humanity is represented here in the deadly relay to Golgotha. Disciples deny their rabbi. When confronted, Peter isn't asked if he knows Jesus. We are well beyond that point. Everyone knows Jesus. Instead, he is asked, "Aren't you one of his disciples? Isn't that your rabbi? Don't you follow his ways?" Jewish leaders deny one of their core tenets. They should serve only God. And when Pilate taunts them, "Shall I crucify your king?" they respond, "We have no king but the emperor." Idolatry. They corroborate with the secular authority that their will might be done. Pagan authorities deny their ability to make a change, washing their hands of responsibility, handing a man over to death who has no case against him. Each deny him in their own way. Today, Jesus gathers us in our denial under the cross. Gathers us even as our voices are hoarse from the cry for crucifixion. Gathers us even as we pledge our allegiance to another. Gathers us even in our violent indifference. At his most pressing hour, he gathers us faithfully so as not to lose a single one of us. Refusing deception, refusing self-preservation, refusing to surrender his spirit to anyone but the Father and those the Father has given him. And even as his body is torn asunder, there at the cross, he knits together a new body, a new family. Here is your mother. Here is your son. Even in his dying, Christ gathers up his church. One theologian put the occasion like this: the cross is divine judgment upon all sin that day summed up and dragged into the daylight and suffered through in the Son. The cross clarifies. The cross is where Jesus is lifted high, yet meets us at our lowest. Glorified and raised up, he sees us more clearly than we see ourselves. At the cross, our deception is brought into broad daylight, our distortions brought into alignment with God's measuring rod. What denial has brought us here to this moment? Jesus gathers his church under the cross to behold. Gathers up you and me. All of us, every part, every fiber, every piece of our fractured faithfulness, every piece of ourselves that we've lost along the way, our history, our regrets, our hopes, our guilt, our fears and our greatest courage, our past and our future, our denial. Christ gathers all of us. He gathers our grief. So weep. Weep before the cross as you lay down all you have carried. Gathers up all the agony that we have tucked away for so long, now free to be released. Gathers us up as we buckle under temptation, gathers up all that feels unbearable and bears it on his shoulders, all the lonely nights gathered in the company of Christ, all who have tasted the bitter cup of death, gathered around the one who first drank from that cup. What denial has brought us here to this moment? And believe and behold that even in our denial, laid bare, dragged into broad daylight, that cannot keep us from the one who gathers. And as we behold the cross, what is it that we see? That when we look to the one who hangs upon the tree of life, we see that he already beholds us. One who, though tormented, prayed for his enemies. One who in the throngs of death thought of his friends. One who, though torn asunder, witnessing all the ways that we tear ourselves apart in deception, still knits us together. Here is your mother. Here is your son. One who promised paradise as he died and chose words not of retribution for the wrongs committed against him, but grace. One who loved us till the end and who trusted in God till the end. Even as we handed him over.